Now we are going to see a really aggressive pair that they really hate to have their nest disturbed. Not like the pair you saw, the display pairs. This react in a different way. If they feel threatened, they react like wild birds, they get all quiet. But if I get too close to the nest, usually they start screaming and try to bite me. We humans have an instinct that's called orientation response. When we see something new coming into our field of view, we orient to it. TV uses that by throwing images at us. Images sometimes, fractions of a second, just to keep the attention. Well, parrots do the opposite. They don't want to attract attention, because if they attract attention, a predator might look at them and whoop, they get eaten. So after they eat in the morning, they might sit and do nothing for quite a while. And if you send somebody to watch them, well, they go to sleep. There is too little stimulation. If in 10 minutes all the parrot does is like, oh, and that's it, they get bored to death.
I'm a painter, an artist, a professor at the University of Puerto Rico. I designed and kind of supervised the creation of this mosaic that's installed on the ceiling of the Martinez Nadal train station it's called Con las Cotorras, or With the Parrots. The whole piece in general, in addition, while it focuses on the parrots, is supposed to be kind of about this sense of how people live with their backs turned to nature here, and so that it's all this kind of, panoramic thing of living and being immersed in tropical foliage and flying off with the parrots, and this kind of fantasy to actually, immerse yourself in the natural environment and not to live so completely shut into this kind of anonymous urban existence. Because I think that that's something that I can see here, but that's really common in contemporary culture.
Probably the biggest problem that we face is not really that the people might not like the parrots or catch the parrots or oppose the release. It's indifference. Most people in Puerto Rico kind of believe in what I call kind of a technological cocoon. They go out to work and then they come back. Then when they have free time, they go to the malls or go to play videos. They are isolated from nature. And in a sense, that makes whatever happens to the environment kind of a distant thing.
You have to consider all the different ramifications that contributed to the demise and what needs to take place in order for the parrot to take root again. As we develop, and I put that in quotations, the world to support more and more urban spaces, take that to mean skyscrapers and urban cities and unparalleled economic growth, right, in terms of the rich get richer. The parrot then becomes many other things. It becomes about loss of culture, loss of land, about the process of urbanization, how the island has really become a concrete jungle in many ways. And there's been loss of land, of green space, and the result being the displacement of not just a parrot, but of people as well.
I don't think that most Puerto Ricans could tell a Puerto Rican parrot from a Dominican parrot from a Cuban parrot. They all have basically the same colors in their feathers, more or less the same size. So as an identity of what a Puerto Rican parrot, being Puerto Rican, attaching the name of Puerto Rican, having a nationality attached to that bird, it also throws to one the identity of what's a Puerto Rican. It's a Puerto Rican, you know, the one that lives out in the States, the Puerto Rican that lives here. Have you seen a Puerto Rican from Alaska? Pretty much we can do a parallel line between what's happening to the parrot and what's happening to the Puerto Rican as a society. All the systems, the economic system, the cultural aspects are putting the Puerto Ricanness into sort of an extinction.
The problem with them, you know, with people getting isolated from nature is that when you tell them, well, we need to preserve this parrot or this rare plant or this rare tree or this rare slug, is that people don't see what that means into their daily life. You know, it won't change the way they shop at the supermarket. It won't change the TV programs they look at. And I guess that's the challenge, because people don't see the cost in the destruction of nature until their water source is contaminated with mercury, until their children start being born with extra limbs, until they get poisoned by the air they breathe. Because I think it's called creeping reality. People, if change for the bad goes on slowly enough, nobody notices, they accept it as the norm. And people can accept really bad quality of life level if they are introduced to it slowly enough.
There was a species in the U.S. Kind of similar to the Puerto Rican parrot in the eastern seaboard that's now extinct. I think like in Virginia and the Carolinas is a pretty common species, and probably over 100 years ago or something they went extinct.
This is how mouth-to-mouth resuscitation goes into parrot. Oh, okay, it's alive.